Hey guys, what do you think's going on in the real estate market? Good question, huh? There are literally a million opinions. Hey, how's it going? Susan Milner here with Florida Future Realty down here in Cape Coral, Florida. I just want to take a second and kind of address this because what's happening in our real estate market has been happening since about May. And I saw it start happening in May. I even made a video and post about it and everything. And at that time, everyone, for the most part, the majority of people were screaming, nothing's happening. But it was. And yes, typically speaking, several years ago, we used to have season and off season, and we would literally be very busy through April and then slow down through May until season came back again, which started picking up, December, November, but typically not until January for the prime season. That being said, could this summer have been just a little blip and that was a seasonal thing? Maybe. But also, could it be a start of something a little bigger? Maybe. That being said, interest rates today just took quite a hike. I think almost a percentage point from when I had just looked a couple of days ago. So that's fairly significant. And that's going to affect a lot of people that are getting loans out there, because when you're looking at, a percentage rate on several $100,000s over a 30-year term, that can be significant. Now, there's a couple ways to look at that. For some people, it's like, hey, look, maybe I can afford that and I'm going to do a good deal in this house because the prices have been kind of, simmering down the past couple months. Some people may go ahead and say, okay, fine, I get a little bit larger interest rate than maybe I want, and then if the interest rates go down again, maybe I'll refinance. Just to put it into perspective, this last couple years of interest rates in like 2, 3, 4% is like unprecedented. Go back in history, look at it. It's not like I'm making that up. So the people that I worked with during the time frame of getting 2, 3, even up to the 4% interest rates, they were stoked, especially in the twos. They literally said to me, like, how can I not buy this house? It's almost like getting free money, because the loan was hardly costing them anything versus using their own money, which maybe they were making returns, having it in a retirement account or stocks or wherever it was sitting. That being said, it is changing now. So now we're getting back into what I really consider more of normal interest rates. Let's be honest. I remember when I bought my condo when I was 21, I think that my interest rates was 7 something, and it was really good. I had great credit. And that was good. A few years prior to that, I remember people getting rates, 8, 9% and thinking that was great. I hear stories about agents that remember 18%. Like, I wasn't an agent then, but I do know that that was a reality of things. Granted, I get it. Houses back then were $30,000, $50,000. It's a little different than now buying a $400,000 or $500,000 starter home. Totally get the difference and everything, but I just want to let you know, prospectively, the interest rate thing, yes, it's going to affect some things, but overall, I don't think that's really the issue here. I also look at a lot of investors that were in the market the last couple years too, that, a lot of the people I worked with personally, they were purchasing second homes, retirement homes that they were going to use eventually, and or vacation rental homes, which is very popular here in Cape Coral because we allow weekly rentals. That being said, the last couple years, so many people were able to work and go to school remotely that they were getting great returns. That's going to start simmering down a little bit. Not to say that it's still not a good investment and you can make the numbers work for sure, but it's going to be a little different than the last couple years. So maybe some of this is good so that people, just don't go off and buy a $500 million house thinking, oh, it's only 2% interest, and then they get into it thinking they're going to make these returns, and the returns aren't there. The other couple of things to think about are taxes. If you go and you look at the current working values on leapa.org, which anyone can go on and look at, you'll see the working values in a lot of these properties have, almost doubled from last year's working values. So your taxes are going to go up. If you're homesteaded in, you're capped at that 3% a year. If you're not homesteaded in, which is a lot of the people I'm working with, you're going to see an increase in your tax bill. It's going to happen. The other thing that's happening right now are insurance rates. Insurance rates are crazy. I see a lot of people getting canceled. Their insurance company just completely left the state. I see other people where, they were paying $3,000 a year, and now they're getting bills for $6,000 a year. The same thing with flood insurance. If you're in a flood zone, you might have been paying $1,000 a year, $2,000 a year, and you are soon going to be paying $5,000, $6,000 a year for that same property. Maybe legislation will be able to help with some of these insurance costs, but everything is getting more expensive. It's just like when we go to get gas in our cars, we go to the grocery store, we go out to eat, all of the prices have risen, okay? So this isn't anything that you don't know, but keep it into perspective, because having your money somewhere that it's getting a return is still a good thing. Sitting in a bank account is not getting a return. Like, what are you getting on your bank account? Like 0.000 something? I don't even know. Even some of the really great funds and things are getting maybe 3% if you're lucky. Again, there's better ones. You should be trying to get, in my opinion, 10, 20, 10, 15 at least percent, maybe not 20, sorry, card line's moving. Anyways, that being said, real estate is still a good investment. You just have to look at the numbers, and it's not just a free-for-all. Like, you can't just say, oh, just buy any house and I'm going to make all this money. I'm not going to buy a house today for $500,000 and in 6 months it's going to be worth $700,000. Like, those days, I believe, are, behind us. Maybe it jumps again, who knows, but I don't feel like that's the return. But I definitely think if you can look at, hey, look, I buy this house for $400,000, $500,000, I rent it for this much, my debt service is this much, that's stuff that we can help you with, and look at the numbers to see what makes sense. A lot of people too buy homes here in Southwest Florida just so that eventually it'll be paid off for when they retire or for their family or kids or whatever that is. So keep that in mind too. Not everyone is trying to, turn it into a business. Some people are just trying to offset some of their costs by renting it out. And other people know that it's an expense, but obviously in 20, 30 years when that mortgage is paid off, then it's an asset. So there's a lot of different hats you could be wearing right now in this market. And, none are one size fits all. If you are a regular homeowner and you've been thinking about selling and you really have someplace else you need to be or want to go, or, something's happening in your life, I say it's still a great time to be a home seller. The most recent properties that I've had on the market have still sold fairly quickly. We really, we priced them in line in the middle of what was happening. We didn't price them over. We didn't price them under. And we do great marketing with, all the professional photos, the videos, everything like that, and just, who we market to. If you're a buyer and you're like, oh no, did I miss this window of opportunity? No, you didn't miss a window of opportunity, but let's look at things realistically and see what the market looks like for what it is that your goals are. Like I said, if you think that you're buying something today for $500 and in 6 months you're selling it for $700, those days are probably behind us. But if you're looking at something more long-term, there's never a bad time to get into real estate because it is an asset. I hope this has been helpful, and I'm sorry it's a little bit of a rant too, but there's just so much out there right now. And, between everything's great and wonderful and beautiful and unicorns and rainbows to, oh my God, doom and gloom, the market's going to tank 80%, all these kind of things. But I think there's a reality somewhere in the middle. And, if you want to talk to me specifically on, what it is that you're looking to do or thinking about doing, I'm happy to run that through with you and just kind of give you, the reality of what's truly happening here in Southwest Florida. Hope everyone has a beautiful day, and I will talk to you soon.